Hi guys, Pidget here. Path of Exile 1.2 just released and they added 4 Second Masters and bunch of new unique items, and one of them is called Dreamfeather. That's how I would start in the video if it was 7 years ago. Joke aside, our next build is Evasion stacking Dreamfeather Lancing Steel Champion.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I don't sense anything.
Let's jump to the mapping showcase. I will tell you how I feel about the build and the evasion in general. Also, this is my first character with petrified blood, and I have to say, it's really good. To fit 8 auras to the build while we are relative tanky. But the downside is we can die fast to degens and big spell hits, because we need too heavy investment to spell suppression. We don't afraid of any physical attack because our evasion rating is capped at 95%, so we almost immortal versus any attacks. As you can see here, this is a tier 15 map, and I just walking in the middle of a pack. Our life is moving because there is a few caster in the backline. We can't dodge that. We're using for clear shattering steel because our main skill is bad for clearing. That's why we only using lancing steel for bosses. Mopping is feels good. Flame dashing pack to pack and using shattering steel, and then press call of steel, and the rest of the pack and the nearby enemies will die to call of steel array effect. Let's take a look on a little bit of endgame content and endgame bosses. On boss fights, our survivability is really not that good. We still immortal to attacks and projectiles, but we can't tank any big spell or any sort of degen. The damage is there. You can easily delete any boss in the game. But you have to pay attention to your steel shards, because if they run out, your damage will be non-existence. When they run out, you need to reload like a weapon. So our rotation is press lancing steel and then immediately press call of steel to get back your steel shards. If you fast enough, you can do it 2 times in a row and then press reload. But I have to suggest to you, press 1 lancing steel and then press call of steel. Before the fight starts, you can preload lancing steel because the skill create a little bubble, and then that bubble will shoot projectiles. But you have to pay attention your shard count, otherwise your damage will be low. This method is really good for starting 10-way fights, which is a breeze with this build. You can easily defeat the bosses one by one without getting overwhelmed by them. Let's take a look on the gear we're using. Starting with the most important piece, the sword. We're using Dreamfeather. This is our main damage source, because we stacking evasion rating with that much investment for evasion rating, this sword is now outscale Paradoxica in damage wise. I checked the best Paradoxica in the market and imported to my character, and it was way lower than using this sword. If you can, get one with attack speed corruption and triple damage scourge. The other weapon we're using is the Savior, because we crit based, and this will basically double our damage. When you crit with this weapon, it will summon a clone from you, and start using your skill that you use. But beware, if you put down your totem, and the totem critting with this weapon, it will use the totem stats and your damage will be lower. The gloves we're using gripped gloves because this is giving us projectile attack damage and high evasion rating. The stats you need to look is attack speed, resistance, life and evasion rating. Boots is same as our gloves. You need the highest evasion base you can get with movement speed, life, resistance and evasion rating. I got a really good boots enchantment for extra movement speed. Leather belt with hunter influence for maximum life and resistance and strength attributes. Rings we using steering as our base for physical damage to attacks. This is really high damage boost to our damage. The stats you're looking for is physical damage to attacks, life, resistance and physical attack damage leached as life. You need an open suffix for minimum frenzy charge craft. You can get this type of rings using pristine and jagged fossil. Body armor is an assassin's garb with Redeemer influence. You need this because the main mod you're looking for is increased effect of non-curse auras from your skill. You can get other way this mod. The rest of the mod is evasion rating, life, and you need an open prefix for craft maximum life. I bought mine for a few chaos and then slammed with beast crafting. I use this craft here, other mod to redeem items. The beast is for this craft is really cheap, so you can try so many times. Amulet, an onyx base. The mod is you looking for physical damage to attacks, and the important thing is increased evasion rating, life, and again an open suffix for frenzy charge craft. On it we using sovereignty. You can get this by using free silver oil. Starkonjan's unique helmet with lasting steel enchantment. This is for quality life purpose. Or you can use the extra projectile one if you want. Now, if you look at the stats, you will notice a few things. First, 50% reduced damage when low life. Because we always low life, our damage will be lower. But there is a really big but. The other mod is we looking for increased global evasion rating. This is really big for us and counters the damage penalty from the other mod. Using a Watcher Eye with impairs you inflict last 2 additional hits while using Pride. I know what you're willing to say. It's expensive, but this is a game changer for us. If you have the money, go for it. But if you don't have the money, you can buy one with double damage mod. Your damage will be lower, but cheaper to get. Lethal Pride Timeless Javelin 4 10% chance to intimidate enemies for 4 seconds on hit. A large cluster javelin with 8 passive skill with Battle Hardened, Iron Breaker, and Furious Assault. A medium cluster javelin with Quick Getaway and Precise Retaliation, we using 2 of the same. Code of Steel. For Call of Steel deals reflected damage with increased aura effect. This is good for clearing, and Call of Steel has increased use speed. This javelin is important because the Call of Steel has a slow use time, but with this javelin we cutting down this time. The rest of the javelins we using rare ones with basic life, attack speed, and attack speed with sword, and a little bit of resistance here, and a little bit projectile and attack speed and life here. Using a life flask with grants immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood immunity when used. Also a Steve Knight flask for more evasion rating with increased effect enchantment and attack speed during flask effect. A diamond flask with increased critical strike chance during flask effect, an Osload flask with increased effect, and lastly, a Jade flask with increased evasion rating and increased effect enchantment. Starting in the duelist area with Art of Gladiator, Bravery, and with pathing towards the Jewel Socket, then taking Sentinel with Iron Grip and Constitution for maximum life, a Jewel Socket here, taking the Reservation Wheel here with Reservation Mastery, increase reservation efficiency of skills, taking here the Sword Mastery with increased critical chance with swords, and Blade of Cunning, taking this Impale Wheel here, then we jumping here with Finesse, Heart of Oak, Ballistic, Reservation Wheel here again, Reservation Mastery, increase life reservation efficiency of skills, taking the Javel Socket here, then we taking Harrier, the Javel Socket here, and Mana Reservation here with Reservation Mastery. Auras from your skill have increased effect on you, then jumping towards Herbalism with Life Mastery, increased maximum life, taking the Sword node here, Fatal Blade, and then taking Lethality. life here, thick skin, and life mastery, 50 to maximum life, and twin terrors for increased critical chance, point blank, and or large cluster javel with battle hardened, iron breaker, furious assault, precise retaliation, quick getaway, and again precise retaliation and quick getaway, and the javel sockets here. Ascendancy with taking champion ascendancy with inspirational for increased aura effect, and for our banners have no reservation, taking unstoppable hero, fortitude, and lastly master of metal. Links in our body armor, lancing steel with brutality, life tap, bloodthirst, increased critical chance, and awakened vicious projectiles. In our weapon, precision with arrogance and petrified blood. Important note here, do not link arrogance with petrified blood. In our helmet, purity of elements for increased elemental resistance and immune to all elemental elements, enlighten, pride for increased physical damage, and grace for increased evasion rating, and even more evasion rating. In our gloves, dread banner for increased impale chance and impale effect, arrogance, vitality for life regen, and flesh and stone for increased physical damage. In our boots, Ascendant Protector for extra attack speed, with maim for enemies made by support skill take 10% increased physical damage, life tap, and lastly Assassin Mark with Anomalous quality for increased critical chance and critical damage. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you have any question, please leave your comments below in the comment section, and see you in the next video.